everyone, welcome to my how I render skin tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to go over how I tend to render as a technique. This isn't like this is the only way how you render skin and shit. This is how I do it. Hopefully you guys learned something from it. I just thought I'd make a I'm having a fucking stroke. A tutorial after so long. So right now I'm just gonna get right into it. Right now we're just doing like a simple sketch. I'm not doing anything too complicated, just a gender neutral character right here. No name, no background or anything, just a simple girl or guy. I'm not sure. Most of my characters look like feminine males or masculine females, so but it goes both ways. So right now, just putting in a quick sketch. This is like the foundation of your render. Sketches are really important, unless you're the kind that kind of looks at the world in volume rather than in line. So some people like to do really clean line art or whatever. I don't really care about line art, as I've mentioned in many of my videos. But whether you like to do clean line art or a clean sketch, either one is just fine, as long as it's clear enough that you can tell what's going on. So right here, we're just getting our little sketch in. Like I said, I don't know whether this is a girl or a guy. Fucking you make what you want of it. Here, I'm just kind of moving pieces around so it looks nice. Alright, now we're getting into value. For value, it's very important to know how to arrange your like shadows and everything. So right here, the light is coming from the upper left hand side. That's because the shadows are falling on the opposite side. And right here, I'm just putting in some shadows and rendering just a little bit. You don't have to do too much at this point. What I'm just trying to do is like get in the basic values. You don't have to start painting right away. This is just for later on. So the sketch layer is above the value layer. So you're putting in your values beneath your sketch layer. So right here, just kind of fixing up the little eyebrows and eyes for a little bit. Later on, I'm going to actually combine both the sketch and the value layer, which I think I already did. Yeah, it seems like I already did that. Yeah, so you just combine your sketch and your value layer, and you just start painting. That's what I can say. You just start painting. There is no specific technique to rendering. Everybody has their own technique. Some are really fast, some are slow and detailed and complicated. But for me, mine's relatively fast. I just kind of smooth in all the rough shapes, and then I take in account the values that I'm trying to go for. So right here, we all know that the light is at the upper left hand side. So right here, I'm just trying to smooth out everything, trying to get rid of the pencil lines. Some people tend to paint in color, or some people tend to block in value or block in color instead of using line art right away. I do that sometimes, but it depends on what I'm doing. Most of the time, I like to just do line art. Or not line art, sketch. So right here, just cleaning up the shadows. I'm going to start... I don't know what I was doing here. Right here, I'm going to start to like try to get rid of the pencil lines on the outside. You see here, I'm smoothing in the neck. Just trying to get rid of those dark and scratchy pencil lines. Rendering is sort of like cleaning up. You can lay down really rough color or really rough value, and the minute you start rendering, you just start cleaning up, smoothing things out. That's pretty much what rendering is. I can't really give a certain description or definition. That's just how I see it as. I like to go in with hard and soft brushes once in a while. Soft brushes are usually meant for blending, and hard brushes are usually for if I want to define a certain shape, or if I want to put in really dark values at certain points of my rendering. So here in between the hair, I like to use a very small and soft brush so I can get the illusion that hair is sitting above the face instead of flat on the face. And you can see here that I have dark and hard edges against soft and light edges. That's mainly what my rendering consists of. It helps to make your rendering look sharper. Hard, dark edges against soft, light edges. You won't get this overnight, especially when you're a beginner at digital painting. You won't get this overnight. You have to practice. It's a technique that you have to get used to. You know, sometimes it won't look right, but at other times you'll be like, oh, I did this a little better than last time. So it's fine. You just gotta practice. So here I'm just putting in some more value. You know, the lips are rounded. They're not flat on the face like two pieces of tape. Right here I'm just putting in very subtle, very subtle facial features, like a little dimple right there. And on the darker side of the face, sorry, I'm getting a text. I forgot to turn off my phone shits. But on the dark side of the face, I tend to put ambient light hitting the dark side of the face because, you know, I like to imagine people have a sky above them or something, or just another light source far behind them. And it kind of defines the shape a bit more. It's not just a flat person on a background. Here, just going in with a soft brush, and sometimes you can see I go in like very small, and then I go in very big to get that really soft blending style. The smaller you go with the soft brush, the harder the paint stroke. Then the bigger you go, the softer the paint stroke. Just keep that in mind. So here, this is all just a matter of anatomy right here, and just trying to fix certain things. This isn't an anatomy tutorial, so I'm not going to go in depth with that. This is rendering technique tutorial. And I'm sorry if this seems a bit fast. You guys just let me know if you want like a real-time video. I probably won't speak in it because I'm not going to speak for 3 fucking hours. But y'all let me know, and I'll put in some sort of real-time rendering so you guys can see step by step. Okay, so right here I was just smoothing out the body of the guy and or girl. I think we're gonna go in with the hair soon, just trying to fix up stuff. This is all just a matter, like I said, a matter of knowing anatomy. So I don't really think I'll ever do like a full in-depth tutorial about anatomy because I'm still trying to figure out myself. So I'm not a professional or anything. I just kind of go with the flow, and if it looks right, it's fine. Here, just trying to add another light source. It's a lighter color than what we already have. Trying to add some highlights so it can add more definition to the skin. Cleaning up the ear a little bit here. And if you're not sure about anatomy, it's totally fine if you have get out of me. Alright, if you have a reference next to you, because I've seen a lot of people draw without reference, and holy fuck, just grab something from Pinterest, bro. Don't try to guess, man. A lot of people try to guess what body parts look like, and I'm like, that looks horrendous. Don't ever do that again. Use reference. There's no shame in using reference. There is shame if you copy the reference exactly. You know what I mean? Just, you know, use it as inspiration. You know, I don't know what this looks like, but I'm going to look up a picture so I do know what it looks like. That's the entire reason behind references. Here, I like to use a flat, kind of line-ish brush. You guys can see what I'm using. I like to use a flat brush for hair because I like to think of hair as ribbons. If you think of hair as ribbons, it's a lot more easier to visualize how you want your hair to look like. So don't think of it as spaghetti. Think of it as ribbons. The kind that you see on like Christmas presents and shit. If you think of it as spaghetti or shoestrings, then it's gonna look stringy. I like to have my hair in big parts rather than in small parts. And you should have a variety of big parts of hair and then small parts of hair. So here you can see there's bigger parts. This kind of volumizes the hair as a whole, and then when you put smaller parts, it makes it look more realistic. So here I'm just adding in another value so I can get some more definition in there. And don't forget to put like some sort of shadow underneath certain hair strands, because you want it to overlap other pieces of hair, and you want it to look like it's actually on top of the head. You don't want it to look like it's glued to your face or glued onto your skull. That's what a lot of people make. It's a mistake that a lot of people make, especially rookies. They tend to draw their hair glued flat to the skull, and that's not the case with hair. You gotta lift it above the skull, because hair stacks on top of each other and it layers each other, so it's not just one big ribbon or anything right on top of your face or skull. So it helps to have several values. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, if I do dark, medium, and light, it'll be fine. For the most part, yeah, but I like to have several values. So dark, medium, and then medium, light, and then lightest. That's what I like to have. It gives a more of a realistic tone, you know, less cartoony like some people have it. I think we're almost done with the hair here. I'm just trying to get in my highlights. And yeah, because hair, like ribbons, when you bend a ribbon, you can see the highlight at the apex of the ribbon, and then it gets darker towards the sides where it's bending away from the light. That's why I like to think of hair as ribbons. I learned that from my boy Ahmed Eldori. Shout out to him. I use his brushes a lot, and I love him. Don't tell him that I love him. No, I swear to God, please don't tell him. I'm embarrassed. Okay, anyway. Here we're putting in more highlights. Highlights are a stylistic thing. You don't have to put highlights, especially if it's not like a very lit environment. I just like to put them because they make the hair stand out a lot more. And I don't know if these highlights are even accurate. Just do what you want, I guess. This is stylistic. This isn't anywhere near hyper realistic art or whatever. This is how I draw, in case you guys are curious. And you guys can use this technique to your own as well. This isn't like an exclusive technique only to me. I've seen other people use the same technique. You just learn from other artists. That's pretty much what I'm trying to do, is have you guys see what I go through when I draw this kind of stuff. Here, put a little highlight on the chin to round it out more. And I'm putting in some darker values underneath. Don't underestimate dark values. A lot of people get scared when they try to go in with darker values, but it really helps to kind of just define certain pieces of the body or the face. A lot of people call this ambient occlusion. Do not ask me what that means, because I don't fucking know. All I can say is that ambient occlusion, it helps bring out the value a little more. It's like putting in the darkest value in places that don't reach a lot of light. You know, so like inside the ear, ambient occlusion. The opening of the lips, ambient occlusion. It's the darkest parts, pretty much. And if some art expert tells me that it's wrong, well, fucking I'm sorry. I don't know the actual definition of that. There's so many. But anyway, yeah, so right here, putting in some more highlights. I think right here we're ending the tutorial right here. We're very near to the end, and I'm having a stroke. The next part will be about coloring your values. So this will be pretty interesting for y'all to see. I color in a specific way most of the time. But yeah, I hope to man, I need to take an Advil or some shit. I'm scrambling over my words. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them at the comments section, Or if you want to shoot me a DM on Instagram, you can do that too, in case it's a stupid question or whatever. There are no stupid questions, I'm sorry, I apologize. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, and I hope you guys have a nice day. Goodbye.